Do you think it's everyone's responsibility to take care of the earth?
In a way, yes. But you can't always do that, because if we do, then we might cut out things that we like to do.
Mostly yes, because if no one takes care of it, who will?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, everyone should try to do their best to take care of the earth, because that's where we live and we have to have respect.
Honestly, people don't care enough, I think.
We really need to take care of the earth, because future generations that will come around, they may not have an earth that's so great as ours, and it'll be all polluted and everything, and that's not good.
I think it's everybody's responsibility to take care of the earth that they live on. And
since we're all inhabitants of the earth, if we don't take care of it, we're all going to lose out in the end anyway.
Yeah, I think everybody would help it out. It'd be a lot better between people would be more happier. It would help people health-wise and all that kind of reasons.
Yeah, it is, because it's the place that we live in. So, we could trash it and then we couldn't live in it anymore. So it's important for everyone. Wow, one little cause, just picking up the trash, could really help out the world if everyone did it.
Did you know that 1/5 of the world's population consumes 2/3 of the Earth's resources and generates 75% of all the pollution and waste products?
And did you know that 842 million people across the world are hungry?
In developing countries, it is estimated that 1.2 billion poor people live on $1 a day or less.
Even in the United States, more than 34 million Americans, 1 in every 8, live in poverty.
Natural resources are being depleted across the globe at an accelerating rate.
And scientists are warning us about the effects of pollution on the land, water, atmosphere, and our health.
These statistics describe what some have called an environmental crisis.
So whose responsibility is it to take care of the earth?
Are we called to be stewards or caretakers of God's creation? That's what we'll be talking about today. Hi everyone, I'm Beth.
And I'm Ian.
And this is Real Faith TV.
At the beginning of our show, we asked some teens on the street if they thought caring for the earth was everyone's responsibility.
We'll talk with them again later in the program.
Our spotlight guest is Christina. She will tell us how she cares for the earth.
But first, let's meet our studio guest and find out whose responsibility they think it is to care for the earth.
They are Marissa, Katie, George, Megan, Sarah, and Josh.
So, whose responsibility do you guys think it is to care for the earth?
It's definitely everyone's responsibility. We all use what God has given us, so we should all take care of it.
That's true. This is our home. This is the only place we have to live, so we should take care of it.
Who else is going to take care of it? We're the most intellectual and most superior of it. I mean, we're the ones who know the best ways to clean the mess up that we make, and we make the most of the mess, so we should be the ones to clean up the mess that we make.
True.
Moreover, we can prevent some of the mess we make. We know what messes we're making, and if we can stop it before it happens, that's always good.
Well, what do you guys think it means to be good stewards of God's creation?
Well, a steward's someone who necessarily doesn't own the thing, just has to take care of it, like a caretaker. So I guess it means that God made the earth as beautiful as it is, and it's our responsibility, since we live here, to take care of it, I guess, in honor of God, or to show our appreciation that God gave us such beautiful things.
I think it's also, you make a good point when you say that, God created the earth. It's important for us to remember, we're only here for a short amount of time. Our lives are not that long. The world's been around for a long time before us, and we want it to be around for a long time after us. And so in light of that, it's most definitely our own responsibility to take care of the earth.
Say you get a car or something like that, you want to take care of it because it's worth something to you, and our earth is worth something to us, so it's worth taking care of.
Right, definitely. Let's go back to the teens on the street and find out what they do to help care for the earth.
What do you do to help the environment?
I try to recycle, my family recycles and stuff, and I try not to litter anywhere and stuff.
You can recycle.
I recycle that stuff, basic stuff. I don't go out of my way that much, but
We should do a lot more recycling, because I know we have recycling and it's only certain things. When there's other recycling, the higher numbers and thing, and we don't recycle and we just throw them out. We should be able to recycle everything.
I recycle, and since my dad owns a recording rehearsal studio, we have to pick up the trash. I pick up litter.
Litter? Oh, that's a very nice thing.
Maybe pick up trash. I think that's.
Yeah, I agree. Like recycle and everything. Not litter. Don't waste things.
We can like stop littering and recycle and stuff like that.
Clean up after yourself. Make sure you don't leave a mess outside or whatever. Recycle.
Don't throw anything like on the ground if you're driving. Don't like throw cigarettes around.
Don't pollute.
Since they like cut down trees, you could plant trees and plant flowers.
Save paper.
I recycle a lot. I try to use few paper as possible, and I try not to use so much water in the house.
I work for this organization, volunteer, picking up garbage and stuff like that.
Yes, I also recycle, and we always try to conserve water, and in the summertime we try and conserve energy as well, since that's always been a big problem, especially around here since we use so much of it.
Buy more stuff that saves energy. When I get a car, I plan to get a electric car, so it doesn't use up a lot of gas.
I think it's really the little things that people do. Like, people think, they can't make any difference or whatever, but just the little things like when you brush your teeth, turn off the water, take shorter showers, leave the lights off, stuff like that.
As citizens of the world, all of us are responsible to do what we can to improve the situation.
It is a human issue that will affect all of us sooner or later.
Both governments and companies are now increasingly adopting strategies to reduce their environmental footprint on the world.
Now, let's meet Christina and find out why she thinks it's important to take care of the earth.
Yes, I think it's everyone's responsibility to take care of the earth because if we don't take care of the earth, who knows what's going to happen to it years from now. I mean, there's already a hole in the ozone layer, and we don't want that to get any larger. We get our oxygen from trees, and if we cut down all the trees, we're not going to have, as much oxygen, obviously, and that's not good, What I can do to use natural resources to care for the environment is to, when I'm taking showers, take shorter showers, turn off the water when I don't need it, like when I'm brushing my teeth, or save electricity, turn off the light when I'm not using it, or turn off the television when I leave the room. An example of when I helped, clean up the earth or show somebody how to recycle was when I was in 3rd grade. I did a play on recycling and saving the earth and saving electricity, and it was really good when I was in 3rd grade, and ever since then, the impact has affected me even today.
I like the stuff Christina mentioned about little things we could do. Turning off the water when we're brushing our teeth, taking shorter showers. And another one I thought of that she mentioned is, making sure you shut off the lights when you leave a room. If you're not in there, you really don't need to have the lights on.
So what are some things you guys do to take care of the earth?
Well, you know how they always say to cut the can plastic so that if it doesn't get caught around like a duck's neck or something, if it's thrown into the water. I always do that because I care about little animals.
Try and pick up trash on the street if with some friends. Go out and try and clean up a park or something.
Taking that extra initiative to walk to the garbage can to throw something away.
I like to recycle found objects into my artwork. Like I'll take cardboard from the cardboard dumpster and use that over. I'll take old pieces of plastic and stuff and, reduce, reuse, recycle.
That's really cool.
I think it's a combination of just the little things that you do on a daily basis. Like she was saying, just turning off the lights, turning off the water, just little things that all add up. It might not seem like a big deal, but at the end of the month, you really see that it does make a huge difference.
I know. I work at a theme park, and we put all our coupons, buy one, get one free tickets, on Coke cans so that we can recycle all the cans, and at the end of the day, we have bags and bags of cans that usually some people just throw in the garbage. We recycle all of them.
That's really good. I know I always make sure that I throw things away or recycle it if it's recyclable. I never litter. My friends joke because if they have something and there's not a trash can around and they don't feel like having to hold it, they'll drop it on the ground simply because they know I'll pick it up and have to be the one to hold it.
But yeah, it's just taking that extra initiative that just helps out in the end. Like Megan said, it's just everybody doing their part that eventually will overcome the obstacles that we're facing already.
Yeah. So why do you guys think it's so important to take care of the earth, though?
If we don't, who knows how long it'll last?
And another problem is the ozone layer. That'll affect future generations if we keep if we keep adding to the problems, like making the hole in the ozone layer because of global warming. And
True,
everything.
and it's not even us now and future generations. It's people living on the earth right now who aren't fortunate enough to have the resources that we have, because we have the ability to clean water if it's dirty, but there are people in other parts of the world that might not have that ability.
That's a really good point.
If they have access to dirty water, that's all they have.
And we also have a lot of access to extra food and stuff, and we take advantage of that and throw food away when people are struggling to have a meal, one meal a day, and we have 3 meals a day that we waste half of.
Right.
We don't really respect it. We kind of take it for granted because you think about it, like we know how bad it could get, but on the same topic, we still just keep making more of a mess. We keep polluting the water. We keep polluting the air. We know that it's getting bad. And it's just like we're being apathetic to it. We're like, it's not going to get as bad here, but eventually it will if we don't start doing something about it.
It's like we're preaching about it, but we're just not taking any action.
Right.
All talk and no action. In 1990, Pope John Paul II wrote, "Christians realize their responsibility within creation and their duty towards nature and the Creator are an essential part of their faith."
The obligation is not something optional. It is a responsibility central to living as a disciple of Christ.
Next, Christina talks about some of the things we can do to be good stewards of the earth.
It makes me upset and it makes me sad to hear that people in other parts of the world don't have fresh, clean water to drink from and everything like that. And here in America, we have lots of fresh water and we really waste it by taking long showers and, leaving the faucet running while we're brushing our teeth, and it's really sad. Sometimes I get pretty lazy, like say I'll be walking in the park and I'll have like a napkin in my hand and I just want to just throw it on the floor because I don't feel like, there's no garbage around me. Or, with my friends, sometimes they feel that they need to litter. To be a good steward is basically to just clean up. Don't be lazy, recycle, do what we have to do to keep this world clean because we don't want it to be destroyed.
What advice do you have for teens who want to keep our earth clean?
I say stick with it. Really maybe form clubs, perform a play like I did when I was in 3rd grade because it really affected me now. I still recycle to this day. And don't give up. Never give up. Well, God created the heavens and the earth, of course, and He created the grass and the beautiful sun and the sky, and we really don't want that to get destroyed.
A steward is a person who is reliable, trustworthy, and dependable.
He is entrusted with the care of something that is important.
The Bible tells us that as each one has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace.
We are safeguarding what belongs to God. These gifts do not belong to any of us individually.
One of the important things to remember about gifts is that you have to thank the person who gave them to you. And the best way to thank a person who gives you a gift is to take care of it. If somebody gave me a sweater, like if Beth gave me a sweater, I would want to, wash it properly and wear it and show her that I appreciated it. I wouldn't want to be like, stepping on my sweater, I'm going to just throw this in the closet,
Yeah, you got to show that you appreciate what was given to you.
It's a sign of respect in a way. It's
That's a really
respecting.
good analogy, by the way.
And also in the same way, it's really nice when people give you gifts to send thank you cards or something of that nature. So, maybe when you're praying, just to thank God for the different things that He gives us,
Yeah,
or that we
we
have
could
access
just make
to.
a big thank you card and just send it up there somewhere.
We really do want to show him that, just saying you're showing the person that you appreciate the gift. We want to show him that we appreciate all of his gifts, no matter what it is, the grass or a tree. Say, oh, nice grass, I'm gonna mow you. Just keep care of it.
I think the bottom line is appreciation is key for a gift giving and taking situation.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that also we have to keep in mind that, as people, we have gifts that give us the ability to care for the earth. And in the same regard that the earth is a gift from God and we have to take care of it to appreciate it, we have to use the gifts that we have personally. We have the ability to collect bottles and recycle them. We have the ability to send food to different parts of the earth where people are hungry. So we have to show that we're thankful for these gifts by doing those things as well, I think.
Definitely, and realize that not everyone on the globe right now has access to,
Exactly.
to grass or trees or, things that we really see every single day.
And going along with what you said, I think we should go above and beyond what is given to us and share it with other people. and not just like take it for granted, but like share it with everyone else.
Definitely. In 2003, the United States bishops issued a message to young adults about stewardship.
The message explains Catholic stewardship as a way of life.
It is a spirituality made up of 4 parts.
1 is receiving God's gifts with gratitude.
Next is cultivating them responsibly.
Then you must share them lovingly in justice with others.
And finally, standing before the Lord in a spirit of accountability.
Yeah, I think, like you said before, we have to be able to share those gifts with everyone. And right there it says that we have to do that for God.
Cultivating with responsibility is also a very big keynote in there. I mean, like, you think about how much we waste and how much we just squander what we have and how much we take it for granted. You know, it's being respectful and knowing that there are limits to what is left on the earth and what we have, and that if we don't take care of it and don't apportion it in a good way for all people, so everyone could enjoy it and everybody can respect it and everyone could have an equal part in it, then it's not really showing full respect to God, you know?
I think also, you know, we all, I mean, let's face the facts. Sometimes we forget and we do things that aren't necessarily good for the environment. We walk out of a room, we leave the light on, we're really stressed and we just want to stand in the nice hot shower for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times that, and I'm sure it applies to all of you as well, that we do things that aren't necessarily the best for the earth. And yet we do these things, but none of us want to hold ourselves accountable for the pollution in the earth or not having enough fresh water. Yet there are times all of us are partially responsible for it. So, I mean, that's something we have to realize, that we all play our part and we have to take responsibility for
True,
that.
and it's easy to forget those things, but it's something that we kind of have to put on project status almost to constantly keep it in the forefront of our minds, just that, you know, it's something that we have to do and not forget about it.
Yeah, as easy as it is to forget also, it's easy to just do the little things, just like what Beth mentioned, turning off a light, or what Christina mentioned, turning off the shower or the faucet, and it's just basically
what we need to do. Yeah.
I think it's a little bit harder for us, the people that have these things in more abundance. I think it's a little bit harder for us because we have it so much that it's just like, it's normal to us, and if we forget about it, it's like, okay, I forgot about it, it's no big deal. But you think about people who don't have these privileges, who don't get to enjoy the things we get to enjoy with water usage and food supply. You think about that, and then you're like, they would love this, but they don't get this, you know? And they would respect it a lot more if they had the opportunity to have it.
And I think another thing that a lot of us could do that we haven't mentioned yet is, you know, carpooling. I mean, I know a lot of us are getting to the age where, like, we're getting our licenses and stuff. You don't have to, everybody drive their own car just because it's cool now that you can finally drive. Don't just meet your friends there because you all want to take your own car. Drive together. You're going to save the environment some that way by carpooling and condensing yourselves all into one vehicle. God created the heavens and the earth, so everything we see in nature was made by Him.
He is the master artist.
I think we all take His creations for granted at one time or another.
It is good to stop and take the time to appreciate the wonderful things He has made for our pleasure, enjoyment, and survival.
Where do you recognize God's hands in nature?
That's another question we asked to the teens on the street.
Let's see what they had to say.
I see God's hand in nature as everything because He created it.
I don't think about it, but I guess He is, you know. He made everything, so.
He made it for us to like live and take care of, and it's beautiful.
Without him, there wouldn't be nature. Yeah.
And about everything he does, because like everything is like he created apparently, so everything's his. So I think that it's definitely like God's hand is definitely in it. It's his work. Like, I don't know, I'm not a very religious person. I don't go to church or anything like that, but like when I'm in nature, I feel, you know, closer to God anywhere than anywhere else. So
I really liked how that last kid there said when he's with nature, he feels closer to God than he does anywhere else. And I definitely think for me that's true as well. When I'm outside and I feel the breeze and I see the sun shining, I can totally feel God's presence there. But what are some of God's creations in nature that you guys have found to be inspiring to you?
The ocean. And when I write music, I just think about the ocean, how surreal it is and how it can be so so extreme sometimes.
For me, I think amazing things are the stars and the moon. At night, I just love looking up and seeing them, and they're just so far away, but yet, you know, that you can still see their light, and I don't know, I think that's amazing.
I mean, one of the things that really inspired me was when I went to Alaska. I was near Mount McKinley in one of the national parks there. And just being out in the opening, just around all of nature and by the mountains, it was really, really amazing. And I just felt so comfortable there. And I felt so thankful that we have something this beautiful that we can cherish.
Yeah, I was going to say, for me, I love the mountains. I grew up every year with my family going on a ski vacation and just being in the mountains and seeing, like, I mean, the idea that, like, at the bottom of a mountain, it could be like 80-something degrees. And when you get to the top, it's like 45. I mean, my parents just went to New Hampshire, and that's what the temperature difference was when they were there. Yeah. And I just think that that's incredible. And that just, I don't know, being in the mountains, I just get this feeling of peace, and I totally feel God's presence.
And not just the mountains, but watching the kids like play on the mountain or something, like running down the hill really fast.
Totally seeing how people are affected and respect God's creation, yeah.
I think you see a lot more in like state parks and whatnot. I went to Acadia recently in Maine, and I went to climb Mount Cadillac, and it was really cool because when you get up to the top, you see all the islands of Maine, like the little pieces of land, and that's so surreal because it just all connects in a way. And you get up there, and the cloud layers up there with you, and it's just like passing over you, and it's just like everything's totally with one another. You know, it's all connected in one vast expanse. So
it's pretty amazing.
I love being in a forest because it can be so much like how we are in our own community of people. It's a community of trees and plants and flowers and animals.
That's a really good point.
And how you're all different, but together you create something.
And it can be very quiet and very peaceful and just very nice.
I know for me, it's just something as simple as when I lay out on my hammock, the trees are above me and I hear the birds chirping and like the butterflies go around. So I think that's like really peaceful.
True, and I always like to say a quick prayer to thank God for the eyes to see such beautiful sights, or the nose to breathe in, you know, spring air or something like that.
I love the smell of rain.
Exactly.
Oh, when I go outside and you like taking a deep breath and you're like, it's gonna rain today. I love that smell. That's something I definitely like.
a lot of times I think we don't realize that we're all interconnecting, and nature and us, it's all interconnected. Like we think of it sometimes as a separate thing. It's not really our concern. It'll heal itself in a way, and to some extent it does. It does heal itself in some ways, but we really have to be, you know, complementary to it, because the nature gives us, trees give us air. The water gives us, you know, nurtures us and refreshes us and cleanses us, and we don't really give much back to that in many cases. You know, mostly we take advantage of it. We take a lot from nature, but we don't give back to nature enough, when we should be complementing it in every way we can, because without it, we won't be able to survive ourselves.
Take only pictures, leave only footprints.
Yes.
I don't think enough people take enough accountability. Each person needs to take accountability for their own actions when they know they polluted, they know they waste water or something. I think that there's too much finger pointing and not enough accountability.
Yeah, and the thing is, we take so much from nature, but if you think about it, nature is probably the one place where people can go there and be at peace and be inspired to do things, and it's just one of the things that helps us know that God cares about us.
Yeah, and you know, Christina gave us a few ideas on what we can do to be good stewards of the earth. Can you guys think of any others?
There are so many charities that you hardly have to do anything to contribute to their efforts to like rebuild houses in disaster areas, replant things in the rainforests, feed hungry children. And like you can go to a website, click on a button, and that's it, and you've donated like 3 cups of rice to some third world country. It's insane how easy it is to help. But
how easy it
some
is,
people just really
exactly, but how few people do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's and it's things that are simpler, like you could just simply like write a legislator. These people have control over how much fuel gets spent, how much we work on the environment, how many trees get cut down, who gets permits to do these things. You know, if you write to them, and it's not going to happen all at once. It doesn't happen that way. Things change progressively over time. Mm-hmm. But if you start and everybody does their own little part and says, you know, this isn't right. We should be doing more. We should doing more. We should doing more. And somebody's eventually going to say, let's do some more.
That's true. That's a really good point because we can do things individually, but we can accomplish so much more together. And that's actually a really good point. I work in an assemblywoman's office, and when people continuously write in, it just gives her ideas of what to bring to the State House. And when things of this nature get to government, you know, it could potentially be a bigger initiative than if just a few people got together and cleaned up trash in a park.
Yeah, and in the same respect of working together and more than one person, I know Ian and I this summer both went away and did Habitat for Humanity. I think you did it last summer, and that's just another way. Like, we're using our abilities and our strengths and our talents to help those who may not be as privileged as we are. And people are definitely a gift from God and something God created that we need to help take care of. And you know, there are lots of ways to do that. God made the earth and all living creatures.
All of creation is sacred. It reveals to us the goodness and love of God.
In a letter to Timothy, Paul writes, "For everything created by God is good."
God gave us human beings responsibility to care for what he had created.
And the American bishops have written that it is to the creator of the universe that we are accountable for what we do, or fail to do, to preserve and care for the earth and all its creatures.
We receive the gifts that God has placed in our care with gratitude and are obligated to use them as God intended.
Are you using the gifts God has given to help you preserve the earth? We want to know.
Contact us through our website.
The address is www.realfaithtv.com.
Or call us at 609-406-7402.
And one more thought from the United States Bishops. At its core, the environmental crisis is a moral challenge.
It calls us to examine how we use and share the goods of the earth, what we pass on to future generations,
and how we live in harmony with God's creation.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time on Real Faith TV. God bless.